Okay. Actually, and if you see on the channel it's live, you let me know. But it looks like we are. It says we're live. So what's up, everyone? Dan here, Crypto Capital Venture. Obviously, let me read you a tweet to start this little live stream off by the Panther of Litecoin, the real B Huggins. Attention, Litecoin Nation. So me and a couple of the guys in the community decided to have some fun with Cinnabon. To show the love and strong support in our community, we're going to do a giveaway. Whoever has the best live stream displaying the following will receive some Litecoin. And that spurred some chatter in the community, as you all know. And so here today I have the Panther of Litecoin, the real B Huggins, Brian Huggins. I also have David Schwartz. Welcome you two to the channel.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's cool.
So tell me, Brian, you know, what spurred the idea? How did this come into play? And I mean, kind of give us a little backstory to that, if you could.
Oh man, you know what's funny? I actually just got in. I forget where I was coming from, but I just got in, and I actually ran into some strangers who were flying drones in the park. I got a park that's close to me, so I was like, oh man, that's cool. You know, I've been dying to get out, go fly my drone, and I need, like, you know, some new people to hang out with. So you know, I come in, and I'm all excited. I'm starting to charge my drone up, make sure everything's charged up. And, you know, I'm on Twitter, open my computer up, and I don't remember exactly who the person it was, but I seen someone mention Cinnabon in a tweet. And so I was like, oh, that's cool. Let me just jump in there real quick and see, you know, just try to start a conversation with them. So, you know, I sent them a tweet, I believe it was like, hey, are you guys you know, open to accept cryptocurrency or something along those lines? So I waited for a couple minutes. I wasn't too sure if they was going to respond back, but I believe their response was never say never. So once that kind of like just started the whole process with, all right, well, this is going to be like the next you know, target we're going to have to see if we can kind of, you know what I mean, get them motivated, get the community motivated, and see what we can do, you know what I mean, in regards to showing them, you know what I mean, how much support we have in our community, and get the ball rolling with, you know, possibly starting to move and getting them accepting cryptocurrency.
Cool. And it kind of, because obviously I saw, and I was just curious, I went over to your Twitter today. I was checking out that live stream again you did at Auntie Anne's, which has like, I think over 20,000 views. And I feel like the Cinnabon scenario kind of piggybacks off of that in a way, right?
Yeah, absolutely, man. Speaking of that, the whole Auntie Anne's thing kind of happened the same way. With the, you know, for people that don't know, you know, I reached out to Auntie Anne's, they responded, you know, it was a kind of like a back and forth tweeting thing. And I was like, you know what, you know, they made a comment, it was like, okay, well, you still gonna buy a pretzel. I said, you know, that's cool. I said, you know what, I'm gonna go there probably Saturday or Friday, or Friday or Saturday rather. And, you know, I'm gonna buy a pretzel. And they was like, well, if you don't take a picture, it didn't happen. So I said, oh, okay. I said, well, long story short, I said, I'll do one better. Maybe I'll do it. You know, one of the followers suggested we should do it live. So I said, oh, cool. So, you know, I'll do one better. I'll do a live stream. So with the whole Auntie Anne's thing, I actually did it the Tuesday. And, you know, I've been on a conversation earlier, Dan, I was saying that I actually came from a funeral that day. And, you know, you guys know how that feel with all that kind of energy and the vibe and everything like that. I was like, you know what? Let me change the tone. Let me change the, you know, the energy or whatever. I'm gonna go out and do this, you know, the live stream today. And long story short, that's what I did. You know, actually, Auntie Anne hit me up, DM me, and was like, well, hey, you know, what time do you think you're gonna, you know, do the live stream? And I told them around like 6. You know, they was like, you know, well, let us know when you do it. And I was like, cool. So I pretty much let them know I was on my way to the mall, and pretty much it just, you know, just started from there.
Okay, cool.
And that was actually fun.
So now because the second part of your tweet about the Cinnabon contest says the stream has to show you interacting with Cinnabon employee at Cinnabon while making a purchase. The stream also has to show you either giving them directions on how the Loaf wallet or another wallet works, or talking to them about crypto Litecoin and what it is. So I guess you were brainstorming. Did you and David have a chat? Like how did kind of that contest come about?
So this is interesting, right? So, I looked at this opportunity, and like I was telling you earlier, Dan, I'm just like, I need to jump on this quick. Let me, I'm ready to, lace the boots up. I'm ready to, set a time out to go out to the, this time I was gonna go to a different mall this time. I was gonna go to the mall and set everything up. So I'm actually in the background, trying to get people to, uh, retweet the messages that has Cinnabon tagged into it. So I'm in the process of like, some of the people I DM with all the time. I'm like, hey, do me a favor. Can you, just retweet my last tweet or a few tweets with Cinnabon? So I'm in a group chat with David, and David actually came up with the cool idea, and it kind of like switched my thinking a little bit. David was the one mentioned like, well, what do you think about actually doing, like some kind of giveaway? And so that idea actually came from David. And once he said that, I was like, oh, that's pretty cool, man. That also gives other people opportunities to, one, not only go out there and actually, we all know, I'm quite sure you guys know that I get responses all the time, like, they get, people want to contribute, to the community, what I mean? They want to, interact some way, they want to do their part. And so when David mentioned that, I was like, oh, that's cool. You know what I mean? So David came up with the wording and everything like that. And he was like, well, hey, let's do like let's give away a Litecoin. So I said, oh, that's great. That's even better. So I think it was me, David, and I believe J Mac, who's Jason, was it MacArthur, I think 99.
Yeah,
we all
he's
pretty
on here
much
today too.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. He cool. That's my guy right there. What's up, Jay? We all kind of just came together. It was like an instant thing. We was all excited about it. It's like, oh, let's go giveaway. So, that's kind of how the whole thing came about. So, which is pretty cool.
Okay, cool. So, David, give us a little insight into your mind. How does that mind of yours work over there? How'd you come up with that?
Well, so the Auntie Anne's, I think we mentioned this last week. That was probably the second or third time I'd gone to that mall and just kind of messed around with some of the stores around there, talking to them. And I had written a tweet about, getting saved by Auntie Anne's during trying to find a prom dress. That was probably about a week or two. I think it was about a week or two before Hugs did his thing, but it was a lot of fun. Went in there, took a picture, Charlie liked it and showed me talking to the cashier lady and all that good stuff. And then started talking to them on the DM side, and then getting to email corporate, working through them, and then getting Eric from Alliant involved. So I think he's still trying to work his way through that, navigate through them. And then when I was looking that up and talking to Eric about it, I realized they were a part of a parent company called Focus Brands. And they owned 4 or 5 companies. And then I looked further into that, and they're owned by the Rourke Investment Company. They're worldwide too. So I was thinking, wow, this is like, you get the small fish and you work your way up to the big fish. And I had seen that they owned, Focus owned Cinnabon and Carvel, I think, and then Moe's Southwest Grill, I think, is another one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so then when I saw Hugs talking about Cinnabon and how he was doing his video, and then I went on there and I said, hey man, I was just realizing that's part of the Focus Brands, company. We should probably start hitting them up. How about we do that video, or some kind of a video where we get people involved, a contest where they can end up winning some Litecoin out of it, so we can get more participation. And that's kind of how that whole thing evolved. But I went ahead and I let on the Slack, I let Charlie know about it as well, and just let him know that we were doing this. So any support that he can give, whether that be behind the scenes or something that we see, that would be really appreciated. And so he's aware of it, and he understands and actually likes the concept of finding a group of companies that perhaps belong to a parent company, and then systematically going through them, kind of like what we're doing with this promo. So you guys, obviously we could start looking at the other companies that are involved with that, which would be Carvel and Moe's and a few others. But this is kind of how we wanted to start doing that. And so Hugs and J-Mac and I think Litecoin Father, I think he's the one that's helping with doing the hats. Yeah, so it's just kind of become this thing where we're all, you know, joining forces together to do this, and I think that's a great way of doing it for the community. And if others want to start groups and do kind of the same thing, obviously, because this is decentralized, we should all be, you know, trying to find our niche. John talks about how he's a cheerleader and a motivator. I think that's great. And, you know, same thing with Litecoin Mad. You know, Dave, he's the same way. He kind of figures that's how he can contribute, welcoming in all the new people that are coming into Litecoin. So I thought, you know, this is one of those things where I tried to see big picture, like macro. And to me, hitting up these stores the way we're doing it now is kind of my macro idea of how we get to the bigger fish.
Absolutely.
Agreed. Stepping stones, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I guess so far since this, when was this? April 22nd. Now, I know we were talking earlier. I don't think we've seen anybody do this yet, right?
No,
I haven't seen anybody.
Yeah, and it's funny because when me and you were talking earlier, Dan, I was wondering like if you guys had seen anyone like tag you like any like the streams or anything like that, and I haven't received anything yet.
So everybody out there in the live chat, this would actually be a good idea maybe to get some feedback to you all. Is there anybody out there that is going to do this? Go to Cinnabon and kind of enter into this contest. But with you guys, Brian, we were touching on this a little bit on the call we had earlier, which is if we could identify one reason why maybe people aren't doing it yet, what do you think that is?
You know what? I think it's probably actually a couple reasons, but I think one of the main things is I want to say probably anxiety plays a big role in that. And you know, some of the things I shared with Dan earlier is it's not it. You do it at your own pace. And the reason why I said, you know, there's two reasons why I said you want to make a purchase when you're doing this live stream. One, we don't want to send a message, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think we want to send a message to these businesses that we're just going to go up, do our live stream, promote what we're trying to promote, and we're going to go out here and pester these companies. No, the point is that, you know, we want to go out to these companies, we want to educate, and we also want to make a purchase. And the reason why we want to make a purchase is because, like I said, it's for the simple fact that we don't want a bunch of people going up to these businesses and make it seem like it's a pest or it's more of a problem than actual casual interaction. One of the things I was telling Dan earlier is I initially said like Friday or Saturday for when I was going to do the stream, but like I told Dan, man, like, you know, man, I get camera shy too. You know, I get a lot of compliments when I do my little Periscope streams, but you guys don't know, man. I get kind of shook, man. So it's, you know, it's not easy. You know, I'm getting better with it as time go on. But, you know, I chose Tuesday, and there's two reasons why. It was multiple reasons why I chose Tuesday to do it. Is because one, I'm going to a mall. The mall's not packed. You know what I mean? So you can kind of like scope out the environment. You know what I mean? And as you guys can see in that stream, you know, I actually picked the perfect time. You know what I mean? Because I had you know, some interactions with the employees as well. So if one of the things that I would suggest for you guys to do is pretty much just go on a day to this store that you know is not busy, like it's not a lot of volume going on in the environment. You know what I mean? You got to go in the car, you know, on your way there, practice what you're going to say to the people and things like that. You know, do whatever best fits you. And most important is go have fun, man. You know what I mean? And I think that's the best advice I can personally give you from my experience of doing it. So, just go out there, have fun, and like, you know, just pick, you know, be strategic with it. Pick days that you know is not gonna be a lot of traffic or volume, and then, you know, you just go out there, you know, get yourself together, have your knowledge and everything together, and you know, the best thing you can do is show. You can show and not just tell, and that's another reason why I use the shift card as well and try to explain that quickly in a video what it is. So, you know, that's just my personal advice if you're trying to go out there and participate in a giveaway.
David, what do you think about that? What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. I think going ahead and recording if you can, and find a time that's not going to be clogging up lines or anything like that. Because when I did the one for Auntie Anne's originally, I asked my wife to record it, but the line was so long because it was a Saturday that I was just like, you know what, let's just take a picture with her. So you miss the whole conversation that goes on with it. And the one question that the manager had was, well, how is this going to benefit us if we have like 2 people a month coming in and paying in cryptocurrency? And so I think one of the biggest things that we need to do is literally kind of reintroduce the fact that this is a, you know, this is a way we want to pay for things. It's not just because we want to have them adopt something. And I think there's so many companies out there that are trying to reinforce that, whether it be Alliant or John Moore's company, or anybody else who like Travel by Bit. They want to try and get you to actually use your crypto for what it was meant to. Otherwise, none of this is going to work. You might get some merchants who adopt it, but in the end, if they're not getting people coming in and using it and it's not benefiting them, they're going to drop it. They're going to drop it just as fast as they pick it up. So I would say use that shift card like Panther does, or the 10X or whatever else is going to come out and help us get through that sandwich time, that middle time, until we can get to the point where people are literally accepting the coins themselves. And just make sure in your budget, I mean, those cards, you can't use more than what you have. So allocate, you know, your gas money or your food money or whatever it is that you can into those cards, and then utilize it that way. And at least you're using some of your crypto for what it was meant for until we can get to the real phase, which is later on. So
agreed.
That would be my advice. Yeah.
By the way, we have John Moore is in the chat, and he said, if I can find the comment, where is this? He said he would do it, and he said he'll have somebody else, I forget who he named, film him do it. He said, I'll do it. Greg on here can film me do it. So we already got one. John, we need you to get out there and do it to kind of set the tone. But yeah, I do want to talk about the shyness factor, because I feel like it is a big part of it. And the second part of it is laid out perfectly. I just saw a comment also by Boiling Point Mechanical. He said, preparation is key. If any of you guys do it, be prepared. It's a sales pitch. How can you help them? Why do they need Litecoin? And I think that's perfect, because
that's major right there.
Yeah, there's definitely a certain amount of preparation that would have to go into if you're going to go talk to Auntie Anne's or Cinnabon, right?
I think Absolutely. It took me 3 or 4 times. Yeah. About around the 3rd or 4th time, then I felt more comfortable. I kind of had my little rhythm of how I wanted to talk about it, how to introduce it. So like last night when I wrote about going to sport clips, you know, it was a very casual conversation. She was talking about, how's your vacation? What have you been doing? Talking about work. And then just kind of slip in the fact that, you know, one of the extra things that I do on the side as a hobby is I work with this thing called Litecoin, blah, blah, blah. And then she's like, oh, well, what is that? And then that's your door, right? So then you just explain what it is without getting too technical. And then basically while she's cutting my hair, I'm going, you know how we go up there and we pay for our stuff through the machine up there, and people are putting their cards in or they use their phone or whatever else. And I said, you know, you can have the same thing happen with this crypto, except you guys don't have to worry about getting sued for data breaches or anything else. You literally get money from me to you. There's no middle person, no information shared, nothing else, but you get your money. And then she was like, oh, that's really interesting. And so we go on, and I go, who's the owner of your sport clips? And then she said, it's this guy so-and-so. And I'm like, how many does he own? She's like, well, he owns this one and 3 other ones in Madison. And I'm like, great, why don't you give me his email and I can talk to him about it? And then that was the end of the conversation. She was really excited. I got the little card right here. I haven't emailed him yet, but I'm getting ready to do that.
Nice.
So, yeah. Cool. So after this, that's what I'm doing.
That's what I'm talking about, man. So did she ever hear of cryptocurrency before?
She had heard a little bit about Bitcoin, but that was it. And that's usually what most people say. They really only know about Bitcoin. And I'm sure Panther's gone through the same thing. Then you got to try and introduce the fact that you can start with Bitcoin. I think you might have even said that in one of your tweets, was start with Bitcoin because that's what people know. And then you can progress and start explaining what Litecoin is after that. Or maybe it was John. I can't remember who it was, but somebody had said it today. I thought it was really good, a good point.
Yeah, I said it a while ago too. I mean, because it's kind of like you giving people, you know, some familiarity of what they've heard, whether it's in the media, well, more so in the media, depending on the age group. One of the things I just wanted to add into what you were saying, David, was the fact that overall awareness, you know, is just, I think what people another thing that can help too, before you approach like the businesses and things like that, it's just, it's like you utilize your practice when you introduce cryptocurrency to your friends or your family members and things like that, because these are the people who you want to help. You want them to use the actual currency. You know what I mean? So you got to give them the knowledge as well. Just like you said, if you go to a business and say, "Hey, I think you should use Litecoin," well, the business is going to like, "Excuse my language, what the hell is Litecoin?" You can give them knowledge. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna be honest with you. I think a lot of businesses out here, whether they're big or small, they are paying attention to the news, and we all know Bitcoin's getting a lot of buzz right now. I just put a tweet out earlier. What is it? The market, CNBC market or something like that is now they're going to start covering and tracking like Litecoin, Ethereum, and I believe Ripple. So cryptocurrency itself is creating a buzz. Now it's the point on our end as a community just to create the awareness and give that intimate knowledge to the other end user so we can give them a better understanding. And I had a couple conversations with some teenagers. I'm actually talking to people all the time. I'm in an urban community, so urban communities, they don't, I hate to say it, but a lot of them may not pay attention to the news as much of like what's going on with like the money and like just currency in general. You know what I mean? You'd be good if you catch a lot of kids who's interested in technology, which a lot of them are nowadays. But when you take it up a notch and you start to talk about just other ways to pay for things, I think that's automatic. It opens the door for a conversation to have with them as well. So I totally agree with the overall awareness in the actual community as well, and not just the like businesses and things like that.
Yeah.
Definitely. Jacob Smith just said, "I get the feeling everyone wants the debit card to be live and available, but I feel they will not use it. They just want the card to push the price higher to sell back to fiat. I hope I'm wrong." But that's that's my biggest concern too. And I guess from the consumer perspective, I think if we're speaking honestly, I think that is a huge part of it. I don't think majority of people are prepared to spend cryptocurrency. But Eric mentioned it on the live stream I did with him a couple of weeks ago. The business to business, I think, is even bigger for crypto because sending wires is such a tedious process. So once that becomes adopted by small businesses, it's just so powerful. So we're talking a lot about the consumer side of things, which we should be, but I think the business to business is huge as well.
Absolutely. I definitely agree with that.
So let's see what else is. David left us. Let's see what else everybody's saying. One day we won't need any cards, just our phone, says Tech Lords. I completely agree with that. I mean, right now, I was at Wawa. You're familiar with Wawa, right?
Oh, absolutely.
I know there's probably a lot of people in this chat that aren't, but I tapped to pay and I asked the cashier, how many people actually do this? Because I've been wondering that lately. How many people are starting to utilize that? And he said a lot. So we've already made that shift, I think.
It's crazy because I kind of agree with the statement that the gentleman said earlier about the whole shift card and things like that, utilizing your, paying with crypto in that way. One of the main things, and it's funny because somebody tweeted not too long ago before we went live about, gold. The comment was something along the lines like, we still need gold, and I want to respond to that tweet. But I think that the gentleman deleted the tweet. But one of the most important things I want to emphasize was that we're not in that industrial age anymore. We're in the age of information, and everything we do now, we can pretty much do on our mobile devices. You know what I mean? So the whole tap to pay, the whole Apple Pay, Android Pay, Samsung Pay, whatever version you use, what people are using at that time. That was a slow transition in an adoption process, but as you can see, it's more and more and more people using that option. Like I go on Whole Foods and Wegmans all the time and use it. You know why? Not only because I like the products and things in there with fresh fruit and all that stuff, but the simple fact that it's the easiest way I can pay. If I leave my wallet in the car, I got my phone. What's the main thing you grab? When you leave in the house, of course you're gonna grab your keys, wallet, and phone, right? sometimes I may leave my wallet in the glove box, but guess what? I got my phone. If I'm going to a store, I know that accepts Apple Pay, which, you know, I'm an Apple person, but if it accepts Apple Pay, I'm going to use that. I'm not going to have any problems with using it. You know what I mean? I don't have to pull a card out. I have to, you know, show no identification because everything is tied to me. And being able to utilize that is major. Just imagine if not even if, but when we be able to open up our Loaf wallet or Bitcoin wallet, whatever wallet that people choose to use at that time, and just be able to just tap, you know what I mean, or scan that barcode. The transaction is done. No money's in. You don't have to put no money out. You know what I mean? And it goes so far beyond with, like, you know, you don't have to risk like being like robbed or anything like that. Whatever, you know, nowadays stealing the phone is pointless because, you know, you can't get nothing from a phone if you can't get into the phone. You know, so yeah, that's just my personal opinion about the whole process.
Completely agree. What excites you about it is pretty much what excites me as well. Just that, especially I am the type of person, I lose my wallet all the time, first of all. So I hate physical things. Like, actually, so Sarah bought me this case for my iPhone where you can see it opens up and my credit card's in there. Because like I lose my credit card like once a week. So she knows I don't lose my phone though, so she got me that case.
There you go.
That's funny.
It's coming, man. It's coming. It's just a matter of when it's going to come. That's the real big question. But it's definitely going to come.
Agreed.
Going to come.
Agreed. So focus brands. I mean, they are, in terms of Cinnabon, Auntie Anne's, Carvel, they're kind of the decision will pretty much come down to them, correct?
Well, so when talking to Eric, he mentioned that because Auntie Anne's has 1,700 stores around the world, they could literally handle it themselves. They don't necessarily need Focus to do that. I don't know if they need Focus to approve it or not, but they don't necessarily need Focus to institute anything for them, which is why when we were talking earlier, Panther, we were talking about how if we get one or two of the 5 to adopt, the chances of getting the rest of them when we talk to Focus would be a lot easier because you have 2 of your companies already using it and they're successful with it. So,
right.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Interesting. So I was actually on Focus's website. I was looking at their leadership team because I was like, I wonder who out of this leadership team's on Twitter, so we can kind of start tweeting. I only saw one. The chief operating officer is the only one I saw on Twitter.
It's not Kanye West, is it?
No.
Oh, okay. That dude's all over the place right now, man.
Yeah. It's funny.
Sorry, I had to leave for a little while. My puppy came down and was like going through boxes and pulling stuff out and running away from me, so I had to go get him.
That's okay. That's all right, man. I'm used to it. I mean, it was on our live stream, right? Actually, it was on E's live stream. E was writing an article.
Yeah. Oh, man, you ruined my joke. I was going to tell you. Hold on. I had to go finish an article for the Wall Street Journal. I'll be back, and then I forgot to say that. So, oh well.
I could count on your wit to come up with that joke too. I'm happy I beat you to it.
I just totally forgot about it, but yeah, I had it all set up and ready to go.
Yeah. So I think actually, so in terms of like the knowledge base and going into like a Cinnabon and talking to them, how would you guys recommend the best way if anybody's on the chat or anybody rewatches this video and they're thinking, oh, I want to do this, I don't know what to say. What's like the easiest way? I feel like a couple key points, like what Litecoin is, it's digital money. And then I think like an illustration, like imagine me sending you an email, that process, how quick it is. Well, imagine me sending you currency and it's just as quick and you have it like within seconds. It's the same type of transaction, no middleman. I can't think of really a better way to put it. So how would you guys say, for people that might be a little nervous, they don't know how to go about it, what would you say they should say?
Well, it's funny you asked that question because I actually had someone tweet me and ask me can I send them a video in regards to how to respond to businesses. I think they're going to some kind of, I don't know if it's a convention or not, but they wanted to talk about Litecoin and the benefits of cryptocurrency. And, you know, one of the things some of the things I recommended and I responded on the fly was pretty much get as much information as possible. I told him I told him to read up on go to Alliant Payments, their website, and read all the benefits of accepting cryptocurrency, down from the fees all the way down to, the benefit of them even converting the cryptocurrency to fiat. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, until these businesses are fully invested and fully convinced that cryptocurrency is the future, they still can have that currency transferred to their preferred currency of choice, which is, fake money, if you want to ask me, but paper money. I told him to get as much information as possible in regards to like the credit card fees, the transactions, and things like that. How much, a credit card may charge you per transaction, the percentages and things like that. And then this can, have that knowledge down pat, with, like, for example, Alliant can offer them if they was to accept cryptocurrency. I think, when you give it to them in that instance, and then overall, just, letting the business know that you want to be customer driven. You want to be, you want to welcome all parties, not just a specific group of people. You're just opening the floodgates for more and more people to come in because, hey, you got a group of, well, not a group, but you got a massive amount of people that believe in something or a new technology that they want to, use this form of payment. That can possibly create more business for you per se. So that's one of the things I can kind of think of off the fly. Without being a little too technical, but I think this overall knowledge about that process is pretty good.
What do you think, David?
Yeah, I agree with a lot of that. You gotta at least be able to have enough technical to go in there and explain how it works. But for most people, I try to use analogies. So the difference between paying somebody in cash versus paying them with a credit card. I'll go through that. So like I'll say, here's some dollars and I give that directly to you. So now that's me directly to you and there's nobody else in between us right now. And that's basically how cryptos work. It's from me to you and it's instantaneous and you don't need anybody else to verify anything. And I'll say the difference between a credit card is you're going to be charged more for that process. And it could take you a few days as a business before you even see that come in through your books and be able to be clear. Or, with a debit card can be denied. So now you have an uncomfortable customer standing there that doesn't have the money to pay for it. Whereas with crypto, you either have it or you don't. So if you're going to pay for it, you're able to pay for it then.
Yeah.
And touch on percentages for the cost for them, because in the end for merchants, it's really all just about the money. How am I going to make the money? So if you can show the advantages between them, that's usually a good way to get them started at least. And then many times, at least the people that I've talked to, they almost end up wanting to know more of it for a personal side for themselves than they do for their business. And if that's the way it goes, that's great, because honestly, if you can touch on them personally with it, they're more prone to turn around and either tell their boss, or if they're the one running the company, consider it for their company. So for me, it's also, I try and touch it on the personal side too. So
cool. Yeah. And I think I just thought of this. I feel like a lot of people out there probably are thinking, I've never been on social media. I don't have a YouTube channel. I'm not David or Brian. I have no influence. What's the point of me going to do this? But I don't think they realize the power that going and actually being the one to start a conversation. All it takes is to do, and then you'd be really surprised if you're watching this out there and you've never even shown your face on camera. You'd be very surprised putting your face on camera, putting it on something like Twitter, tweeting to a company like Cinnabon, what can happen, like what you can create, the influence you can have. That's like the world we live in. We don't live, it's not the 80s anymore where, for the CEO of a multi-billion-dollar company to see you, it can happen just like that. So keep that in mind as well. If you're on the edge of kind of doing something like this.
Yeah, I would 100% agree with that. Just the people that, over the course of, what is it? So it's April 25th. So it's literally been just a little bit under 3 months when I was up north at a cabin with my wife and the price was sinking. And I just happened to put out a tweet about Spotify, and the thing just went nuts. And I had literally 22 followers at the time. I was just some dude who had it because I was trying to follow a couple people. And I put this thing out, and enough of the right people saw it and sent it out that it just became, you know, that crazy, I think it was like 3,000 retweets or something like that. And it was just nuts.
Really? I don't think
Yeah.
I ever heard about that happening.
Yeah,
I gotta
it
look
was
at
around
that.
January 28th or so.
That's all.
Was when I did it. And I was on my way home from the cabin, so it was only like 3 hours. And by the time I had gotten home, it was already over like 600 or something like that. And I was so new to Twitter. I mean, I had it for a little while, but I hadn't really used it or anything. And so I didn't really understand how everything worked. And I'm asking like people, I'm like, what does this mean exactly? And they're like, holy crap, how did you get that? I was like, I don't know. I just wrote something that was on my mind, and this is what happened. And I had no poll. I had nothing to do with any of that stuff. And, you know, people like Zinzi or whoever had retweeted it. I think he had mentioned something. He said, yeah, I think this would be a good idea. And it just went nuts from there. Anybody can do that. I mean, you don't have to be Dan with a channel or Tyler or Nakamotorized or anybody else to make an influence. You just got to be you. And it just takes one spark, and things can happen from there. So, I don't know.
Yeah,
that's my best explanation of it. Yeah.
To add on what David is saying is true, man. Like, I was into social media for a long time ago, and then I kind of just like completely just fell off the face of the earth with social media. I actually got back on Twitter. I want to say like the late November of last year. And the only real reason I got back on Twitter was because, you know, I've really started like this fully like, okay, I'm getting to this crypto thing. My first thing I thought about, I need to go find like-minded individuals. You know what I mean? So I can start getting the knowledge, so I can start seeing what people think, what they tweeting, like what's new. And you know, all it takes is you just, that's the easiest thing about Twitter, at least. I can't speak for the rest of the social media platforms, but you go in there and speak your mind, man, and you'd be surprised on like how many people are going to like feel that vibe that you send just by sending a tweet or just by sending tweets. You know what I mean? And you know, for example, you know, I think everybody knows I just like to keep it real in regards to, I don't like to just tell people BS stuff. You know, I like to be people to be upfront with me. And you know,
Yeah.
I do value people's opinions, but at the same time, I don't care. But I mean, that's just part of life, you know. But perfect example, that Auntie Anne's video. You know, I honestly, I did the video. I didn't even think nothing of that video. You know, I didn't know until I woke up. Like it was like 5:30 in the morning, and I got a DM that somebody sent me saying that, wow, the video got almost 10,000 views. I was like, what? I'm like, I'm just waking up and like 10,000 views. I did not pay no attention. It just was a video I recorded, and I just left it there. And the next thing I know, it's like each hour, like another 1,000 views were like or accumulating. And I was like, damn, this pretty much was myself. You know, I think the hardest thing for people to understand is like, just be yourself, man. You know, just actively put yourself involved. Ask questions. Like I always tell people to ask questions. Don't think that you know it all, and then go out here and make, you know, these decisions and things like that without asking, you know, questions. Where don't be afraid to ask questions, and just talk with people, man. People, not talk with them all the time. I get a million DMs. Well, not a million, but I get a lot of DMs, and anybody that DMs me knows that I'm going to respond back to them. Now, they used to be lightning fast in the beginning, but you know, it's not that fast anymore. But you know, the point is like, just, I like to interact with people. You go in there, interact with people, and just speak your mind, man. Be yourself. I think that's the best way. That's the best advice I can give you, man. Just be yourself, and don't be afraid to ask questions.
Agreed. Press that record button. Be yourself. Go to Cinnabon. Win a Litecoin.
Hey, man, I'm waiting for them videos, man.
Yeah, we really need to get some submissions, right? You guys, I mean, I think the contest is awesome. So, one thing I do want to mention is, David, I know you made a point earlier, basically, and I'm looking over there because I have a screen over here, but I have some notes. not just talking in terms of having a conversation with the people at the counter, but also actually messaging the companies themselves in terms of adoption and accepting Litecoin. And that kind of plays into what Alliance doing right now with their contest as well.
Yeah. Yeah. I like what they're doing with their contest. For me, it's become, so I started out with just talking to somebody who was at a desk, you know, who was the cashier or who was helping me with looking for something. And then I realized after a while, 95% of the time that may get lost after I leave. So I always touch the person that's at the counter, not physically, but I touch them as far as like talking to them about, you know, Litecoin. And I let them know what's going on, because even if I don't get them to do anything as a company, I'm going to get them to probably think about it at least as an individual. And so I can hit them double up by talking to them and then emailing the company. So even if I strike out with the person and they just don't even want to talk to me, I've at least put something, there's a seed there in their head, and then I can go and talk to the company on top of it. So then the next time that person's reading something or hears anything about Bitcoin or Litecoin, they're going to remember me, and they're going to remember the conversation that we had, even if they didn't like it at the time. So.
Agreed. Then they're going to go look up Litecoin, and they're going to find a community of people, a whole army waiting for them.
Yeah, a lot. Yes.
Yep. And it's only growing, only growing.
Yeah.
So tell me, I guess, if, you know, I think we can probably wrap it up here. I really appreciate you guys' time. I know you're both extremely busy. So is there anything either one of you would want to add, or is there anything either one of you could say to maybe put some pep into the step of just the people out there in terms of getting over there and submitting a video?
Brian, you want to go first? Or you want me to go?
You can go. All
right. Good. So a Litecoin today is worth 145 and change or whatever it is. But I'm telling you right now, if you can win that one Litecoin from us, sit on that sucker for a while, you could be looking at 10 grand or 11.7K, right, John?
Is he still here?
He's probably still on here. Yeah. That's a pretty good investment for going and making a short video talking to some stranger about Litecoin. So.
Agreed. I mean, so you can go buy a Cinnabon,
or you could go spend it. Yeah.
Yeah, and just for doing that, if you end up winning, it can be a $10,000 Cinnabon one day. Cinnabon.
There you go. That's one big ass Cinnabon.
How about you, Brian?
You know, I just gotta agree with David, man. Like, that's one Litecoin, man. It's not too many people out here, you know, who are buying coins as a whole. You know, a lot of people out here doing that. You know, my $20 rule. You know, you can spend $20 on wasted on something. I'd rather invest it. You know, and you know, some people build their way up to get that Litecoin. This is one whole Litecoin. I ain't gonna lie. When David brought it up, I was like, damn, man. Do I got to be a part of this conversation? Because I got over my fear already. But no, at the end of the day, man, is one whole Litecoin. You know, go out there and surprise yourself. Go out there and have fun, man. Just go out there and have fun. And at the end of the day, you're doing something you like to do, which is, you know, you're supporting Litecoin, and you know you're going to find your way in, you know, doing your part in the community. And at the end of the day, you're winning a full Litecoin. And even if you don't win the full Litecoin, you still have an opportunity to win some cool stuff. I think it's a couple of hats.
There's some hats in there.
I forget the guy's name and I apologize. But a couple hats involved. You know, like, just go have fun, man. And if you guys got any questions, you know, you can always DM me like you guys already do. I'm quite sure David and Dan are open as well. We're here to help, but go have fun, man. Just go have fun. It's one Litecoin, man. Come on now.
It's a full Litecoin, man.
It's a full Litecoin.
I saw John Moore said he's going to do his next Tuesday. So, Brian, you want to maybe we should extend it for a week so we can get some more interest going on it.
You know what? That's a perfect idea. I think hopefully people see this video and it kind of like breaks the ice for them a little bit. So I'm fine with extending it until next weekend if you want. It's up to you. We can talk about it further if you want to. You know, if you just want to get and push the extension until next weekend to get people out, you know, that time, I'm fine with that. It's a whole Litecoin, man. Jeez.
So everybody out there, you just heard it here. They're extending the timeline. So you have some time to kind of group yourself together, get over your nerves, get out there. You know what? I'm going to have Sarah do it. We're not going to officially enter the contest, but I'm going to have Sarah do it. We're going to put the video out there. Maybe that'll break the ice as well a little bit, but it'll be fun.
Is she going to record? Is she going to record, or is she going to be the one you're recording?
I'm going to record her.
There you go.
So. Wait, Dan. Since it's not, David, since it's not Dan, do you think she will fully qualify though?
So I think if it's her doing it, then we could probably at least consider it. If it was him doing it, then we probably wouldn't allow him to be able to do it.
Sorry, Dan, you're excluded.
No, it's perfectly fine. It's perfectly fine. And I'm hoping if she does it, I hope she can explain crypto. I'm not going to help her too much, so
there you go.
Let's see how she does.
Just gotta throw her out there, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do.
One thing real quick, guys. I do want to say, if whoever does participate in the giveaway, if you can, of course, tag Cinnabon, hashtag whatever you want to do, at Cinnabon. I prefer to add them. Who knows? They may respond back to you and ask you, even if you want to give them a heads up, they may respond and say, hey, like Auntie Anne's did me, what time you going to do the stream? They may want to watch. But if you can tag one of us so we do know and that we make sure we see the video, because I'm quite sure we're probably all gonna get together at the end of next week and probably start picking out, making a decision who had the best best video. That'd be greatly appreciated too. Just so we make sure we see all the videos, of course.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah, actually, and real quick before we end this, I see Crypto Ohio in the chat. He's saying, "Oh man, I feel like I'm going to Cinnabon," and I'm only bringing him out because I know he submitted a video to my channel. He did an intro video for my channel, so I know he's got the camera game. So Crypto Ohio, get out there.
I remember that.
Nice.
Definitely submit one, man.
I thought I was getting a shirt. I wanted to do the 3, 2, 1. What happened?
I know, man. I need to send both of you guys shirts, man. Rock that.
Yeah, we'll do it.
Crypto Capital Venture. All right, cool. Well, again, I appreciate both of you so much, and right here we got 2 leaders in the Litecoin army leading the way, leading the charge. So thank you for your time, both of you.
Yeah, thanks for having us on, man.
Definitely.
Cool.
The Litecoin.
Brian, it was good to see you actually live now, because I haven't been able to actually watch anything lately of yours. So it was good to see you actually interacting and stuff. So
yeah, I appreciate you guys even having me on here, man. And real quick, I just want to give a quick shout out to Varka. Can't pronounce his name, but he know he is. Is Varka Dragon? I don't know. Varka Dragon. He's the one who actually sent the poll out and asked people how they felt if I should be on the live stream with you guys. So I just want to give him a special shout out because I definitely appreciate that. And you guys are legends, man. I'm very humbled, man, and honored to be on this live stream with you guys. So I just want to, personally thank you guys as well.
No problem, man. Thanks.
The honor is ours.
Yep, absolutely.
Thank you.
All right, guys.
All right, see you guys.
Yep.
Thanks, everybody.
Yep. Peace.
See ya.
Peace and chicken grease.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much for coming by. We had fun again today. Appreciate all of you for watching. And yeah, please get out there. Go to Cinnabon. Record a video. I think you can have some fun with it. I know we're gonna do it. I'm gonna have Sarah do it. So, as always, I will see you in the next video. God bless.